Namaste, dear ones. Lisa Romano here, the Breakthrough Life Coach. I'm bowing to the love and the light that is absolutely in you. And today I want to talk about trauma and memories and why it is so often when we are trying to remember something that happened to us, we can't always remember the details. And I wanted to do a video for anyone out there who is struggling with that area of recovery, because undoubtedly when you're on the healing path, you're trying to remember what happened to you. You're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together again. And the more you know, the better. But, the process of integration is quite painful. And when we can't remember something as clearly as we like, sometimes we end up experiencing anxiety just because of that. So I wanted to do a video to help alleviate any unnecessary anxiety, because the more fear you are in, the harder it is to recover. So the more at ease you can be about your recovery, the more in the flow you can be, the less constricted you are, the easier it's going to be for you to remember, and the easier it's going to be for you to integrate, the easier it's going to be for you to heal. So what I wanted to share with you today in this hopefully very short video is this idea that adrenaline causes the hippocampus in the brain to pretty much become incapacitated. So in fact, they've proven that high levels of cortisol that is excreted as a result of high stress can actually kill the cells of the hippocampus. And they've done brain scans on children who, side by side, children who have come from dysfunctional homes, abusive homes, who have experienced high stress levels, and children who have not experienced overwhelming high stress levels. And upon brain scans, they see that the activity in the hippocampus that they would normally see in a child's brain that is not traumatized is not there. So the hippocampus of a child who suffered from abuse is inactive or not as active as a child's hippocampus who has not been traumatized. And why is that important? Because the hippocampus is related to memory. And the hippocampus is that area of the brain that allows us to record or file an event. So let's say you are traumatized as a child at 5 or 6 years old, something terrible happens to you. You will remember how your body felt, but you may not have the actual ins and outs and particulars of why your body felt that way. And that's not your fault. That is the result of a lot of stress, and that is the result of your brain and your body flooding, the adrenal glands kicking in and kicking out all of this cortisol, and your body going into fight or flight mode. And what happens under severe stress is we have one of three options. We will fight, we will flee, or we'll freeze. People don't really talk about the freeze response, but so many of us, when we are being traumatized, there's a point where we realize that we're not going to be able to get away, especially when we're children. And when we get to that point where the door opens in the middle of the night and we know our abuser's coming through the door, we may go into a freeze mode because we know we can't get out. And that's not our fault. And that is horrendous that happens to tiny children. And it happens to people of all ages where they feel so stuck. You could be in a relationship with a severely narcissistic person who is also sadistic, psychopathic, and cruel. And you may feel stuck. And once you pass the fight, you're not going to fight him or her. Once you pass fleeing, I'm not going to run away, I can't run away, and your mind understands that you're not going to fight or flee, then you'll freeze. And that is just not your fault. And that is where we actually dissociate from what's happening, and our minds go somewhere else just as a form of defense. And so it's the way the body helps us actually deal with trauma that we can't escape from. So I hope this will... Okay, so the other thing I wanted to say for anybody that doesn't understand, the amygdala is the area of the brain that is really letting us know that we are in danger, and we feel the panic response. And the hippocampus, like I said, to me, the hippocampus, they work in tandem. The hippocampus works in tandem with the amygdala. So something terrible happens, I feel it, that's the amygdala, and the hippocampus is going to file the event. And so when we experience a lot of trauma and our adrenal glands kick out a lot of cortisol. The hippocampus basically begins to shut down, and it cannot record the events the way it would have if the stress levels weren't so high. Also important to remember, dear ones, that as a child, if you experienced severe trauma and you had nowhere else to go, then you have experienced severe trauma, and you may have frozen many, many times and dissociated because you poor thing, just couldn't get away. You couldn't fight and you couldn't flee, and that's not your fault. Not your fault. So I believe understanding how our divine, amazing, beautiful, miraculous brains work help us heal, help us recover, because healing is as much as anatomical, biological, chemical, and neurological as it is spiritual, as it is emotional, as it is psychological. So I hope this video has been helpful for any of you who are interested in my 12-week breakthrough coaching program or my masterclass, which is all about the law of attraction. You can find out more by going to www.lisaaromano.com. Registration is open, dear ones, and please feel free to join my online Facebook group for children from dysfunctional homes, narcissistic homes, and alcoholic homes. We'd love to have you. Namaste, everybody. I bow to the love and the light that is absolutely in you. Namaste.